We are going to fill out this flow chart real quick, and then we are going to do an assignment. Okay, what is a quadrilateral? Up top, everybody write this down. A quadrilateral, it is a polygon with what? With how many sides? You don't know? How many sides does a quadrilateral have? With 4 sides. Thank you. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides. So, on Friday, we learned about a parallelogram. A parallelogram, and if you don't remember, if you want to open up your notes to page 52, if you were not here on Friday, in just a little bit, come get these notes from me. All right? So, page 52 has everything I'm about to write down. So, the definition is, it is a quadrilateral with opposite sides parallel. A quadrilateral with opposite sides parallel. Now, we learned, this has 5, but we learned 4 specific properties on Friday about parallelograms. What was one of them? Opposite sides are congruent or the same. Put a little congruent sign. Which means if this side is 8, I'm going to put a tick mark up top. What's the bottom going to be? 8. They're the same. If this side was 5, I'm going to put 2 tick marks on the left, or on the right. What's the left going to be? 5. They're going to be the same. Oh. It already wrote it up there, but opposite sides are parallel. We just talked about that. Meaning they never touch the opposite side. Yeah, go ahead. What about opposite angles? They're the same. They are congruent. Go ahead. So whatever this angle is, let's say this angle is 80. What else is going to be 80? Way across from it over here. And let's say this angle, if that angle is 80, what does this angle have to be?
100.
Why does it have to be 100? Because consecutive angles are supplementary. I'm just going to write sup. Equals 180. Consecutive angles are supplementary. Meaning if that's 80, what do both of these add up to? 180, so that has to be 100. If this is 100, what's across from it? 100 as well. Please write all this down. The last one. Are the diagonals the same? Look right here. If I were to draw the diagonal on this one and draw the diagonal here, would we get the same number? No. Do you see how this one's like super far? That's the long diagonal. And that one's just right there. They're not the same. However, diagonals bisect each other.
What would it like if they would be the same?
A rectangle. Yep. So diagonals I'm going to try to draw the diagonal. You can use your badge to draw a straight line if you need it. Remember, diagonals bisect each other means whatever this side is, like let's say this side is 10. What's this side? 10. And let's say this side is 8. What's this side?
8.
They're going to be the same wherever they cross on both sides. So 10, 10, 8, 8. What I just went over, we learned that on Friday. You did a Schoology assignment over that on Friday. If you did not finish, that is a grade. Y'all remember I told y'all to skip number 4 in the Schoology assignment? I ended up deleting it, so all of y'all's grades went up a lot. You can, if you have not finished it, you'll have time to do that today. Okay? Sliding on over. Now, a rectangle. A rectangle is also a parallelogram. Do you see how it has the arrow right here? That means everything that we just wrote down applies to a rectangle. A rectangle, the opposite sides are parallel. These sides are congruent. These angles are, all of that applies. A rectangle is a parallelogram. Are y'all okay with that? A rectangle is a parallelogram. Now, it's a special parallelogram. What is special about a rectangle?
It's diagonal.
We're going to get to that in a second. But what makes a rectangle a rectangle? Not the sides, because these right here are the opposite sides. The right angles. A rectangle is a special parallelogram because all my angles are 90 degrees. So it is a parallelogram with all congruent angles. And they're all 90 degrees. Personally, out of everything we're going to learn this week, rectangles are my favorite. So, all of the properties right here apply to a rectangle. All of these properties right here apply to a rectangle. Plus, draw your diagonals with your badge if you need to. What do you notice about my diagonals? What did we say about the diagonals?
That they bisect.
They bisect each other, correct, but for a rectangle,
You said we can flip it and that'll be the same.
it would be the same. For a rectangle, the diagonals are the same. So whatever this diagonal is, that's what that is, that's what that is, that's what that is. Because of that, what kind of triangles does it create here? 4 isosceles triangles. It creates isosceles triangles. Please write that down. Did you know, or do you have any questions about rectangles? Okay, the diagonals are the same. That's the big thing I need you to remember. If this diagonal was 20, what's this diagonal? 20. And if that's the case, what's this part of the diagonal? 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay? Did you know that a square is a rectangle? Did you know that? You've heard of that? All right. So a square is actually a parallelogram and a rectangle. It's actually a rhombus too, but we're going to learn all about rhombuses tomorrow. But a square has all of these properties. So it is a parallelogram with... Ooh, I should look that. I don't know what she wants me to write right here. A parallelogram with... See, I would write a regular parallelogram. It's a regular quadrilateral. Okay. All sides and angles the same. All sides and angles the same. So it's a rhombus with 4 congruent angles, or a rectangle with 4 congruent sides. We'll talk about what that means in a minute. I don't remember what I did with my key. I'll probably find it like in the middle of the week.
Like your house key?
No, like the key to this. Like what I was actually supposed to write right there. Alright, so what do we know about a square?
All sides are.
So let's do a tick mark on all the sides. All the sides are the same.
Does it also have right angles?
It also has right angles.
Could you draw the bisect line?
We could draw the diagonals.
Sorry.
Ooh, can you turn that? Yeah. What's special about a square? Whenever I draw the diagonal, like right here, this diagonal, are these the same? Let me go back to who did it really pretty. Right here. Are these the same numbers right here?
No.
No, on a rectangle, it's going to equal 90 degrees, but are they going to be the same numbers right there? No, they're just going to add up to 90. However, on a square, it will. So on a square, they will be the same. What does each of these have to do? We learned this like 2 units ago.
Split it. So 45, 45?
This creates 45, 45, 90 triangles. Do y'all agree with that? And do y'all remember, then this side is 45 and 45. What is my diagonal going to be right here?
How do you...
If this is 45 and this is 45, look at this triangle.
90?
It's going to be 90 degrees in the middle. They're all going to be 90 degrees in the middle. Oh yeah, DJ? All right. What I would like you to do is, that is everything that we are learning about squares and rectangles today. We are about to do a Schoology assignment. Before we do that, I want to show you, oh man, I ripped it. I want to show you what some example problems you might have. So, all of these are four-sided. Do you agree?
Yeah.
All of these are also parallelograms. They're just different types. A parallelogram is a rectangle. No, I said that right. A rectangle is a parallelogram. A square is a rectangle and a parallelogram. All right? So you might get some questions like this on your homework assignment or your classwork assignment. What is OT congruent to? What's this the same as?
YS.
Do y'all agree those are going to be the same?
Yeah.
Okay. What is OP congruent to right here? PS, YP, any of those. It can be any of those because it's a rectangle. Okay? Another question you might get, please look up.
So do we list all of them that have this?
Yes. It'll show you in Schoology. Yep. All right, can y'all please look up? If you get 3 letters, TOS, start at T, go to O, then go to S. It is your middle letter. TOS is your middle letter right there. So if this is 28, be careful. What is this right here?
Whatever is 90, you subtract from 90.
Be careful. Look up, look up. These are not both 28s. Don't put that. What do you know about this angle O? It's 90 degrees. So how do you find the other angle?
You subtract 28.
Subtract 28. That's the biggest mistake people make is they try to make these the same. They're not. All right? Subtract from 90. And you'll get all your other angles. All right? If this is 28, what is angle 1?
28 also.
Why?
Because it's isosceles.
Because it is an isosceles triangle. All right? That's the type of questions you are going to be getting today. So for the rest of the class period, I am going to open up the Schoology assignment, and that's what you are doing.